Hi there, this is Tim Blankenship, owner of SCV Legal Doc Assist. We're a licensed and bonded legal document preparation service, and we specialize in the divorce process. Today we're going to talk about how to prepare your judgment, specifically how to prepare your judgment in a true default case. There are 4 different ways that you can file your final judgment paperwork, and it all depends upon what's transpired up to this point. So today we're going to talk about what is called a true default or just a default case. Okay, a default case is when you filed your paperwork and the other party did not file a response and will not be entering into a written agreement. So what this means is the other party not only didn't respond to your petition for divorce, but they're not going to sign a stipulation or a stipulated judgment. When that happens, there's certain forms that have to be filed, and it's going to be different. The forms you file are going to be different for each one of these 4 different ways to file your judgment paperwork. And again, that's based specifically on what's happened, if there's a response, if there's no response, if there's a signed agreement, or if there's not a signed agreement, or in another case, if it's a contested matter. So today, again, we're going to talk about the forms needed for filing a judgment in a true default case. Now, one thing to note here is you cannot file for a default judgment. You have to wait 30 days after you complete step 2. Now, let me just using here the court's legal steps for divorce. So far, we've talked about filing your forms, how to serve the forms, and how to file and serve your disclosures and financial information. Okay, now we're on step 4. So after you've waited 30 days after step 2 is done, which is after the forms have been served, okay, then you can file for your default judgment. Now, let's take a look at what forms are needed in this true default case. So this is the default dissolution judgment. This is the checklist that I actually use when I submit our judgments to the clerk and to the court to be signed off by the judge. The reason I do this is because there are so many forms. I actually will put a little checkbox by each of these here, and I'll mark them off as I have them. So in this default dissolution judgment, we're talking about a true default case. And again, it says here at the top of the form, a response was not filed, a default was or will be entered, and the judgment is prepared solely by the petitioner. So this isn't going to be a case where the respondent, the other party, is not involved in the divorce process at all. So what you're going to need to supply to the court is the proof of service of summons, the request to enter default, FL 165, and 2 self-addressed stamped envelopes, okay, 1 to you and 1 to the other party. The petitioner's declaration regarding service of preliminary declaration of disclosure, that's the FL 141. Your declaration for default or uncontested divorce, your judgment form, and your notice of entry of judgment, FL 190. Now, all of these forms you'll find on our video blog and on our videos on YouTube. You can find out how to fill these out individually. I have a video on each one of these. Now, this is just the initial forms. There are additional forms for everything from if there's minor children involved. There's a whole slew of forms here that you'll need. I'm not going to waste time on this video going over each of these forms, but you can see here which of these are necessary. In some cases, they may all be necessary. And these are all attachments to the judgment paperwork. If there's going to be spousal support, there's a whole slew of forms here. Spousal partnership support. If there's going to be property at issue, you have your property declaration, property order attachment to judgment. Okay, there's a lot of forms, and it can be very confusing and complicated to file your final judgment paperwork. Okay, so that is the totality of forms that you will need. I will have a link to this page within the article that this video is attached to, so you have a point of reference. Feel free to print it out and use it as a checklist. If you have any questions about how to prepare your true default case judgment, please give me a call. Again, my name is Tim Blankenship, owner of SCV Legal Doc Assist, and we do specialize in the divorce process. I hope this video has been helpful. Please give me a call if you have any questions. or visit one of our local area websites. Thanks so much.